Sup witches, it's Myri. Apologies first and foremost for any unintended sound effects you might hear. I'm shooting today in my conservatory, which is really, I guess, just more of a Three Seasons room. But I'm surrounded by windows which are all open to let the air in, to, get some nice airflow to my seedlings, which are all started in here for this summer's garden. But anyway, I also have free range chickens outside, so the likelihood of hearing like a rooster crow really close by is, pretty high. I'm also, in addition to having my big, dopey, adorable dog Sparks here, we are pet sitting for some friends, and so we also have a large, and when I say large, it's an understatement, dopey Rottweiler named Roxy, and she makes noise just like sitting still. So you might hear some of those things. Sorry in advance if that harshes your mellow. Anyway, so those of you who know me likely know me from my Etsy store, Wild Woman Witchcrafts, which I will add a link to in the description below, or add a link for in the description below. And one of the things I really love to sell are like discovered and like specially curated antique pieces for other people to use in their magical or spiritual practices. And this past weekend, my wife and I were able to go to some really awesome antique stores and a giant flea market up north in Clare, Michigan. We go twice a year, actually, to attend an Amish quilt auction. True story. Which is amazing. And then there's also like a huge flea market. And so I found some really great stuff. By the time this video is uploaded, all of the items that I'm about to show you that will be for sale will be listed in the store. So I'll also include possibly links to each item in the description box. We'll see how I'm feeling at the end of the day. Anyway, so I'm just gonna dive right into this witchy haul. So the first item I have here is an amazing. I actually have one of these for my own practice. I have it on my altar. It's a beautiful carved wood antique book stand from India, and it opens up like this. I don't know if you can see. And I have one on my altar to just keep my personal grip my personal book of shadows. I have one on my altar to keep my personal book of shadows handy, as well as some other books that I reference frequently in my practice. And it's also just a gorgeous addition. I find that it looks quite magical. Oh, sorry for the banging. It also smells really good. Yeah, I'm weird. I like the smell of different woods. But yeah, like the intricate work on this is really beautiful. This is actually a bit more delicate and also a bit larger than the one that I have on my altar. So I thought it was a really cool piece. I'll try to give you a bit of a close-up on the detail. It has just like these super fine little etchings. I don't know if you can see them. Like even aside from the holes and everything, there's like super, super fine little delicate carvings in the surface of the wood as well. So that's item one. I'm gonna, pardon the noise, pull a chair over here to put things on that I pull out of my box of goodies. Okay, so the next thing, I wonder if I should have done this in any certain order. I'm just gonna go for it. Is this precious little hammered copper cauldron. I don't know if you can, okay, there we go. I lost the screen for a second. And I first picked it up just because I thought it was so cute. I'm like, this is adorable. This will make, and see how sparkly it looks because of the hammered texture, like in the light. I'm actually shooting underneath a skylight, which is why I look so pale. Well, I mean, I'm like crazy pale anyway, but I just felt like the last video that I shot didn't have very good lighting at all because my workspace and my sacred space are in a room that has very little natural light. And so I decided, for the sake of showing you better shots of the items that I bought, that I would shoot in here with all of the natural light. So anyway, as I was saying, this beautiful little copper kettle, and as you can see, it has a nice, sturdy, heavy wrought iron handle and hardware, as well as the little tripod legs in the bottom, which I think is a really nice touch. Hey, there's my computer. And at first I thought, okay, this is just a really cool, decorative item. I didn't know or didn't get a sense from it right away like I might usually, that it had some sort of cool history. But then I took a piece of masking tape off of the bottom, which for some reason was concealing this mark. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Can you see it? I can't see it in the reflection. It says made in West Germany. So immediately I was like, wow, this was made before the fall of the Berlin Wall. That's amazing. And so I started doing a little bit of research, and these were apparently manufactured pretty limited. Like there wasn't a huge surgence of this particular cauldron. But in the early 60s over in, polarized Germany, the hippie movement was starting to kind of make its way there. And there was actually a brief resurgence of witchcraft, or in the popularization of witchcraft. And so this was actually created like during the hippie era for the use of witchcraft, which I thought was very cool. So this is another super special piece with really cool history that'll end up hopefully being a wonderful addition to someone's magical practice. So that's the other, that's one more. Okay, I'm wondering if I should stay on theme here, or if I should, why not? I'll just show you the cauldrons. So that was not the only cauldron that I found this weekend. This one is very heavy. It's a wrought iron cauldron, again with the little tripod feet. This is a very heavy piece, very, very sturdy. It has a brass handle, as you can see, as well as a brass lid that lifts, and you might notice that little notch in the lid, and that's because this particular cauldron comes with a pestle, which is very cool, meaning this can be used to burn things. It can be used to grind herbs. I will say that the pestle appears to be some sort of ceramic, which is interesting. So whoever buys this, be careful with that. Don't grind too hard if you're used to using a stone pestle. But I thought this was such an interesting piece, and it's in such good shape considering how old it is. The vendor that I bought it from said that he estimated it to be like 160 to 180 years old. I don't know if that's accurate. I mean, honestly, I bought it knowing that it could be a reproduction, but still a vintage reproduction. At any rate, it is absolutely functional, and it's super heavy and super cool, super witchy. So another great piece for a lucky practitioner to find and use. This next one, I don't even know how I'm going to show you because it's so big. I actually might keep this particular piece because I have been looking for a larger cauldron to use for outside rituals, like when I practice outside and when I want to burn things. So this thing is rusty as all get out, but let's see. I keep losing the camera. Look at how big this thing is. It's heavy, it's metal, and I actually think it was possibly used at one time for some sort of liquid, because there's a drain in the bottom that a rubber cork fits into, and you can pull out. There's a hole in the bottom. You can pull it out, and oh dear, I just got dirt all over my rug from the inside of that thing. Fun! That'll be fun for me to clean up after I'm done shooting. But anyway, yeah, I thought it was really interesting. And I'm going to use it for outside ceremonies if I don't list it for sale. So there's that. And then I have one more cauldron that I found. This one is brass, which you don't see very often. And it has these ornate little feet, as you can see. So this is Indian brass. And it says on the bottom, it says made in India as well. And so I just, another cute little cauldron that I found that will, I don't know, maybe it's yours. But I thought it would make someone a really nice little practical piece. So I felt a tirade coming on, but it went away. Okay, moving on. So now we're getting into the territory where things are wrapped, and I don't remember which item is which, so bear with me. We're going to be... Oh, actually, this one's one of ours that we're keeping. It's not really witchy at all. It's just a canister. It's like a antique teal glass canister for our kitchen. So there's that. I'm pretty sure this is just the top for it. Yeah. Well, that's a bummer. Okay, moving on. So this next piece is really similar to the tarot boxes that I featured on my store before. You may have seen them. This aesthetically is very similar, but it would never fit a tarot deck. I just thought it was really cool, and I thought someone would appreciate it enough that would justify me picking it up because I knew someone out there would want it. So this is another product that's antique and was made in India, and it's this beautiful triangular treasure box with brass botanical inlay. As you can see, it's very pretty. And the inside is not super big, but it could definitely be used to contain ingredients for a spell, or possibly house a special crystal or talisman. It could be placed, with some salt inside, and, you could cleanse your crystals in it, that kind of a thing. I just thought it was too cool to pass up. And this, I've always been drawn to triangles in general, just, the symbolism of the balance between body, mind, and spirit, and so forth. So yeah, that will be listed on the site as well. And yeah, moving on again. Okay, so this next item, I'm unwrapping very carefully because I know what's inside. Okay, I've got to get some schmutz off of it. There we go. So this next item is a very primitive and very old athame. I actually feel that it could be an old throwing knife because it says there's a maker's mark here on the back, and you can see stainless throw. It's a very well balanced blade. It's very thick, very sturdy. The handle is made of steel and wood, and there's virtually no wear and tear on the handle. It just has that like perfect aged patina. And of course has the double-edged shape, like the symmetrical tip, which is, pretty characteristic of an athame. So this was something I couldn't pass up. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to include it in a kit or if it will be just a standalone product. I don't know. Stay tuned. We'll see. By the time this airs, I'll have decided. Okay, so the next item, pardon the crinkling, is a very unique, again, sorry about the crinkles, a very unique mortar and pestle. I see a fair number of mortars and pestles in my travels and, when looking for antiques for the store. But this is actually the first time I've come across an intact, antique, clear glass mortar and pestle, which was likely, I was told, for like actual medicinal use. So it would have likely been used in an old pharmacy. It is clean. There is a bit of wear and tear on the bottom, so it looks as though there's powder or something inside, but there's not. So, I don't know. Excuse me. Everything that I purchase, I'm always tempted to keep, just because everything I find is really cool and something that I really appreciate. But I don't need another mortar and pestle, so this one will be listed on the site as well. Maybe it will be yours. It's a beautiful little piece. I'm sad I can't have it. All right, what is next? Oh, these might just be mine. Yeah, I'll show them to you because they're witchy, but these are items that I'm keeping. There was a really terrific booth at the flea market we went to that had great crystals and gemstones for amazing prices. Like, amazing prices. So these, like I said, are items that I'm keeping, but I'm excited to show off. So the first one is this rose quartz palm stone. And I know you're probably thinking, well, what's special about that? You know, it's just rose quartz. Everybody has rose quartz. Well, this huge, amazing chunk of rose quartz and this beautiful piece of fluorite were, I think it was 2 for $6 or something like that. Like, I would have, like, at a metaphysical store or something, I probably would have paid upwards of $12 for this rose quartz palm stone alone. So that was really exciting. I also got, for $8, I still can't believe this, for $8 I got this huge, beautiful quartz point, which fits really nicely in my hand. It's like if I place the base of it into my palm, it just, like, my hand kind of naturally grips around it, and it feels really organic, and I don't know, I feel like I'm bonding really well with this crystal, and it's got some really interesting inclusions inside and so forth. And then I also got this piece of aragonite, which is my first aragonite specimen. Has such an interesting shape, and I feel like if you kind of unfocus your eyes, it looks a bit like an anatomical heart. Like, it looks like it has all these valves and so forth. So those are the stones that I got. From the same booth, I actually also purchased for myself an amazing hand-woven poncho with a hood and a pocket that was made by a college student in Nepal to help pay for his education. So that was an amazing purchase as well. That booth was fantastic, and I wish they had an online store, but I looked for them for so long afterwards, and I don't think that they do. I will try again to find some sort of website, and if I do, I'll include it in the link below, because they are an amazing resource, or so it seems. So, okay, moving on. Again, there might not actually be anything. Oh, yeah, there is. Okay. So, this one I'm pretty sure is going to be included in a kit. This is just a chime candle holder, so a spell chime candle holder, but interestingly enough, it is made of pewter, not brass. Typically, all of the chime candle holders I find are either made of ceramic, wood, or brass. Most commonly brass. But this one is made of pewter, and it's also made in England, which is really unusual. Typically, you see chime candle holders having been made in India, Pakistan, that kind of a thing. It's interesting to find one that came from Europe. Very unusual. So that, I think, is actually going to be part of an amazing altar kit I'm working on right now. I'm looking forward to giving you guys a tour, like a video tour of that kit specifically, just because I'm so excited about it. And I mean, leave a comment below if that's something that you'd be interested in, and seeing kind of video tours of the kits that I put together. If you would like to see a closer look, if you're interested in purchasing that kind of a thing, I'd be happy to do that for you. So yeah, let me know. And this is another piece for myself, I think, so sorry to just, like, show you all this stuff. But I don't know, I just thought it was cute. This vintage bangle with turtles. I just thought it was cute. I'm going to put it on right now. Yay. Okay. So, where'd the other thing go? Oh. I also got a couple of bells. Altar bells. This one is so cool. It's so unusual, and it appears to be so old. The patina on this thing is incredible. I think it might be bronze, actually. It's so heavy, and the way that it's oxidizing makes me think it could be. If not, it's brass, and the oxidation is just out of this world. Like, look at how teal that looks. It's amazing. But the topper is a little bonsai tree, if you can see. And the weight of this bell for the size is insane. Like, this thing weighs a lot, and it has a beautiful sound. The man who sold this to me had no idea when it was from, so I'll have to do some digging to include information on the listing. But anyway, that would make an amazing altar bell to implement sound into your practice. And then I also got this little brass bell, etched brass bell from India. I don't know if you can see the detail on that. I think it's not focusing. also has a beautiful sound. I am so annoying when I go to flea markets and antique stores and stuff because when I find bells, I have to ring them. Like, I'm not going to buy something for a spiritual practice that doesn't also have an amazing sound. So I'm that annoying person in a store just like ringing bells nonstop. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, so that's all the stuff I had in the box, and then I just have one more find here, which I'm actually going to redo. So this is a bit of a project for me, but I found this amazing vintage shadow box. I don't know if you can see. And I'm going to refurb it so it can be a wonderful witchy, you know, addition to someone's space and can display favorite crystals or other sacred tools and so forth. So yeah, I think that's it. Trying to think if I forgot anything. I thought I had maybe more bells, but I might be wrong. Anyway, if you like this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I do intend on making more videos in the future. I'm still kind of trying to get the hang of things, and I do get pretty easily distracted. I'm trying to juggle so many things that it's easy for me to just completely forget that I had planned a video. I actually made this one because I'd recently been reached out to by someone who found me through YouTube and had mentioned I should do more videos, and I honestly had kind of forgotten that I had done the first one. So, but I have plans to continue coming back here and showing you guys various things that will be available for purchase. I also will work on getting some tours of altar kits put together for you guys to see. And yeah, so am I forgetting anything? Oh, also, go ahead if you're interested in hearing more from me or seeing some like behind the scenes stuff on more along the lines of things that I make personally for the store. Follow me on Instagram. It's at Wild Woman Witchcrafts. Similarly on Twitter, it's also Wild Woman Witchcrafts there as well. That was redundant. Anyway, as always, love and light, stay wild, and have a beautiful day. Bye.